Hello and welcome to this Red Gamer Tech video. Myself, Amato, as always, I'm here with the gifts of the latest tech news from the last 24 or so hours, and to kick things off, I'm here to quell some flames of outrage today with ASUS. So you may have seen the screenshot that was doing the rounds on the internet just yesterday of the ASUS GPU Tweak II software, as a Redditor shared a screenshot which appeared to show an ad for an RTX graphics card in the GPU Tweak II overlay. And unsurprisingly, this caused a bunch of outrage. It was shared everywhere, and unsurprisingly, because if this was actually happening, that would actually be pretty bad, and obviously irritating to see ads in GPU accessory software. But I have a bit of an update for you, because apparently this is not the case, because ASUS actually contacted Hard OCP to explain what is apparently a misunderstanding. So the image used by ASUS here is actually a placeholder. So instead of just putting like a meaningless image or a logo, instead put an image for the ROG RTX graphics card range. However, what this particular image block is actually meant for is for a streamer identity or clan logo. So this is most likely going to be part of the game's streaming and recording functionality. So this is more for a Twitch streamer or for someone like myself rather than an average user. So when the developers of this particular software are actually done making it, this area can be used to insert a custom overlay into content, and the feature is there for you, the client, to make adjustments. And Hard OCP themselves brought to the attention on their article, which of course will be linked in the description below this video, that if you go into the GPU Tweak II options, you can change the memo text that the OSD displays to something of your choosing, and you can also disable the logo completely. So yeah, a bit of a misunderstanding that apparently has got a bit out of hand, and they probably should have just put something placeholder there or explain what it was, but thankfully they're not just putting ads in their GPU overlay now, which is definitely good, because that would be bad. So yeah, a bit of a clearing up, shall we say. So the next thing I want to discuss is a couple of pieces from Intel, the first of which is actually regarding Cascade Lake. So what we actually have here is a publicly available document published by Cisco for their unified computing system, and it was basically released to not only inform their customers on their networking portfolio, on the current roadmap, but also to detail their upcoming M6 platform as well. And the reason we're interested in this is because there's a very interesting couple of pieces of information for Intel Cooper Lake and Ice Lake, as well as Cascade Lake as well. So you will see on the M5 servers, we see Cascade Lake there listed on the Pearly platform just next to Skylake, but where we're really interested is the M6 server platform for Cooper Lake and Ice Lake, and it's showing here as expecting to be launched in the first half of 2020, which pretty much lines up with expectations, but it is a touch later than some are expecting, given that Intel has already shown roadmaps showing that Cooper Lake is going to be coming out in late 2019, so it's also very possible that it is out in late 2019, but Cisco themselves are not planning to be using it until the first half of 2020. So there's also more to be gathered here from this. If you look at the Whitley platform, which is where Cooper Lake and Ice Lake are actually finding their home here on this particular roadmap, you will see that it confirms that Whitley is going to have 8 channels of DDR supporting up to DDR4 2933. And we also see some interesting details as to Intel's strategy for PCIe. So you'll see there for Cooper Lake, we see PCIe 3.0 and 4.0 listed, which does heavily suggest to me at least that we're going to be seeing PCIe 3 come out first, with PCIe 4.0 to follow later. Obviously, this is a pure assumption. It could be that they'll launch simultaneously. Perhaps there could be 2 variations on the Cooper Lake line, one with PCIe 3 support, should I say, and then PCIe 4 support as well on a perhaps more expensive variation. Either or, really. It could definitely be one or the other. But you will also note for Ice Lake, we do see PCIe Gen 4 being listed, being supported right out of the gate, which is not exactly surprising, given that AMD have not been shy about their plans to obviously have their new Rome processors in 2019 come with PCIe 4.0 support. Oh, well, since I know someone in the comments is going to point it out, I know on the image it says Copper Lake, Trust me, it's Cooper Lake. Copper Lake isn't a thing, at least not at the moment. However, this is not the only piece of Intel news I have for you today, as we have the Intel Core Xeon W-3175W spotted at retail in Japan. So what we actually have here is, thanks to some sharp-eyed users on Twitter, these parts have been showing up in the Tokyo Tech Plaza in Japan for a definitely wallet incinerating price at $38.80, so $3,880 plus, of course, your sales tax. Now, some of you may recall that Intel has made some comments that the Xeon W-3175W was only going to be available through OEMs like Dell or HP or boutique system integrators, but apparently they are now intending to sell these processors with full retail packaging, as we see here, as it is being sold by the Tsukumo PC Honton, which is in Tokyo, Japan, again for this price of almost $4,000 once you take out the Japanese sale tax. So bit of an ouchie, but not exactly surprising given that it is a Xeon processor. So, let's move on, shall we, to Gigabyte. Now, I just want to say before I continue on this topic that this is all a rumour and report at the moment. It is not officially confirmed, but it is all based on a report by DigiTimes, which of course will be linked in the description below this video if you wish to give it a read. But, according to their report, they are apparently going to be cutting their sales and marketing expenses for 2019, which is obviously fair enough. But what we are really interested in here is how they are apparently going to be axing 5 to 10% of its personnel in the first half of 2019. And apparently this is just due to the fact that their board shipments fell by approximately 1.15 million from 2017 to 2018. And they shipped roughly 11.45 million units last year, which obviously is still a lot, but when you compare this to 2016, where they were shipping 16 million units, that is a significant decrease. But we didn't just see declines in terms of motherboard shipments, we also see GPU shipments for Gigabyte fall as well, pretty much back down to the levels that they were sitting at before the cryptocurrency mining craze truly went completely haywire. Now, further, according to this report, even though both the GPU and motherboard shipment side of the business have been suffering from declines in sales, apparently the motherboard business is going to be the primary target for the layoffs, and there have been currently no plans to cut workforce at the graphics card side of things just yet. That may change, and of course this information could be incorrect, either some of it or all of it, but I guess it would make sense given those decreases in shipments for both motherboards and graphics cards that I did just mention. But at the moment Gigabyte have not commented. They were contacted for comment by DigiTimes, but they unsurprisingly were not particularly keen to discuss. So a bit of an ouch for Gigabyte there. So, our final topic for today is actually regarding the Nintendo Switch, which I have apparently been discussing an awful lot lately. And this time we've got some comments from the ACE Research Institute analyst Hideki Yasuda, who has basically said that apparently the Switch is selling faster worldwide than the PS4 with their launches aligned. So what does that actually mean by this? Well, if you actually look at the shipments of both consoles and at the 8th quarter of each console's lifetime, the Switch is actually higher by 3 million in favour of the Nintendo Switch, of course. So obviously the PS4 has more sales overall because it has been out for way longer than the Switch, but obviously what this analyst is saying is that the Nintendo Switch is selling faster than the PS4 when you look at the same quarter in each of the console's lifespan. We are going to be seeing, as I say, a lead there for the Switch. Will this continue? Will we eventually see the Switch become the best-selling console? It is entirely possible, but for the moment at least, when you look at it that way, the Switch is in the lead. But of course it has quite a ways to go to beat the just staggering amount of consoles that Sony has managed to sell in the lifespan of the PlayStation 4, but obviously the Switch is still a fairly young console, and of course we've had discussions from Nintendo recently. They're going to be seeing a smaller version of the Switch, so that's probably going to help things out as well. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see if the Switch can eventually topple the PS4 from its throne. But of course you've got the fact that the PS5 and Xbox Scarlet are due out probably next year as well, so that's maybe we'll throw a wrench in the work set for Nintendo. So that is me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your support is highly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a huge deal to both myself and Paul, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.